The movie begins with Jason Kelly, who is attending a funeral for his grandmother. Jason Kelly is a corporate lawyer in Atlanta who works for his father's law firm. She passed away after fighting cancer for 10 years. His obnoxious cousin, Nick, suddenly appears and talks nonsense about their grandmother, telling Jason that dying because of cancer is a conspiracy. Turns out that Nick is high, so Jason attempts to stop him from messing around by hugging him. In the church, Jason's grandfather, Dick, gives his final goodbye to his wife. He is U.S. Army veteran Lt. Colonel Richard Dick Kelly. Jason is also present there and is accompanied by his fiancée, Meredith. The couple plan to get married in the following week. After the funeral, Dick asks Jason to drive him to Florida as a personal favor since his driving license was taken away and Nick is not reliable at all. Jason and his dad initially refuse the request, but Jason later reluctantly agrees to help out his grieving grandpa. The next day, before he leaves, Meredith seems annoyed because Jason has to leave before their upcoming rehearsal brunch. She even forces him to drive her pink mini car for his short trip to Florida. Jason then picks his grandpa up, only to find that the man is wanking in his living room. He is horrified and runs away. Surprisingly, the grandpa seems energetic despite just losing his wife. They hit the road and stop at a diner for a moment where Jason shares to Dick about his job as a lawyer at his father's firm. The grandpa thinks that his job is boring, while his grandchild keeps trying to convince him that working as a corporate lawyer is cool. Just as Dick leaves to buy some liquor at the store next door, a young woman named Shadia spots Jason and recognizes him, who turns out to be her ex-classmate. She tells her friend, Lenore, about his photography skill, but she and the other guy, Bradley, don't really care about that. Afterward, Shadia approaches Jason, attempting to talk to him. However, he doesn't remember her and thinks that she's a waitress who wants to collect the check. She takes his money and runs away with her friends. Shortly after, the real waitress comes to him to collect the money. He immediately chases after them and catches her before they manage to drive away. This time, Jason recognizes her, but Dick suddenly appears and pretends to be a college professor, which attracts Lenore. She attempts to tease the grandpa and they both plan to meet up again in Daytona Beach, but Jason and Shadia are against it. Just after the teenagers leave, Jason takes Dick golfing where he spots two women. From a distance, he immediately drives the golf buggy towards them, trying to flirt with them. Dick admits that he's a licensed golf professional and offers his help to teach one of the women. While Dick is away, Jason secretly tells the women that his grandpa is not in a good state due to his wife's death. They immediately leave, which upsets Dick. He finally reveals that he wants to use this long-awaited trip as a short escape where he can make love as much as he can. Jason is annoyed with Dick's misbehavior but still agrees to go along with the trip. Jason tries to play some golf but gets distracted by his grandpa until his phone suddenly rings and Dick sees the message from Lenore inviting them to join the beach party. On their way to Daytona, Meredith calls Jason, stating her intention to put their wedding announcement on the New York Times website, but he keeps getting distracted by the nearby environment. She even learns that the two are at Daytona Beach, which makes the fiancé anxious. After going to the store, the two meet a drug dealer, Tam. They finally arrive at the beach and run into the teenagers. Shadia talks to Jason and seems attracted to him while the grandpa flirts with Lenore. Suddenly, Lenore's other friends, Cody and Bra, appear and invite Dick and Jason to the pool party, which the grandpa can't resist. There, Dick challenges a guy to a drinking competition. Unbeknownst to the others, Dick secretly put drugs in one of the cups before that. Jason also participates in the competition, but he accidentally drinks from the cup that contains the drugs. In the evening, the party continues, where Jason suddenly goes wild and crazy. To make things worse, he subsequently smokes a crack from a local drug leader, which makes him crazier than ever. Instead of helping his grandchild, Dick takes a picture of Jason naked while teasing a stranger. He then takes a motorbike and rides away. The next morning, Jason awakens, finding himself in the middle of the beach, naked. He suddenly gets a call from his fiancée, who is confused about the drawing on his forehead. He immediately adds a video effect to hide the swastika sign while a child approaches him to touch the buzzy bee on his crotch. From a distance, the boy's father thinks that Jason is molesting his son, thus he pushes him off as the cops show up and arrest him. Jason tries to convince the amateur officers that he's a lawyer. However, they don't believe him due to his appearance, as he begs to the officer for a phone call. Dick eventually comes to the police station to release his grandchild. Before he leaves, the woman officer gives him a 1990s clothes from a murder victims. Jason gets angry and states that he can't do it anymore. He drops his grandpa off at a retirement house to meet his old buddy, Stinky. However, the man only has a month to live and just wants to spend it playing bingo. Since then, Jason finally understands Dick's desire to spend his remaining time doing what he likes. Meanwhile, Dick makes it clear that he has to make love with Lenore. He also adds that it's what his wife wanted, which is to move on and live his way the way he wanted to. Dick persuades Jason to stay in Daytona until he is able to sleep with Lenore. Jason then drives Dick to Daytona Beach again, where a dance music festival is happening. Dick and Jason are challenged to get on stage to participate in a flexing competition. It is a one-sided competition until Jason realizes that everyone is recording his action. Afraid that he will go viral and cost him his job, he runs off stage and the other team wins by default. Afterward, the ex-Special Forces grandpa grabs a confetti and fills it with a bottle. He then shoots Cody, who is celebrating the victory, in the face, breaking his nose. That night, Jason and Dick dress up, preparing themselves to go to a nightclub where Lenore and Shadia are. They get drunk and Jason gets closer to Shadia. They have fun on the dance floor until Dick confronts several thugs to defend Bradley and challenges them to fight. Outside the club, Dick beats the crap out of 4 of them before taking on the leader, Tyrone. He humiliates him, while making him apologize to Bradley for making fun of him. In the morning, Jason takes Shadia for a walk while pretending to be a photographer. Jason bonds with Shadia and she tells him that she is going to live on a ship for a year. At some point, the pair almost kiss, but a phone call ruins their sweet moment. Long story short, they reconcile with the thugs at the nightclub while Dick is getting closer and closer with Lenore. While Jason and Shadia are singing together on the stage, Cody sneaks by them and stuffs a large bag of weed in Jason's coat. At the same time, he accidentally finds Dick's driver's license, realizing that he's not a professor. After the party, Jason rethinks his relationship with Meredith, planning to call off his wedding. He also intends to tell the truth to Shadia and Dick attempts to prevent him from doing so. As he enters the room, Jason gets punched in the face while Cody reveals Dick's real identity to everyone, who is surprisingly a former Special Forces operative, a fact that no one in the family knew about. Cody also tells them about Jason's engagement, which breaks Shadia's heart. Jason tries to convince her about his feelings towards her, but she is already pissed at him. Despite that, Lenore blatantly states that she still wants to make love with Dick. Unfortunately, the cops show up and arrest Jason for the weed in his jacket. Dick bails his grandchild out again for the second time. This time, he admits that the other purpose of the trip is to prevent Jason from getting married to Meredith because he thinks that she's not right for Jason. Dick used to be a bad father and he doesn't want everything happening to Jason's dad to happen to him. Jason gets really angry and decides to return to Atlanta to proceed with the wedding. He attends the rehearsal brunch with Meredith where they sing the same song that he sang with Shadia earlier. During the presentation, Dick hires a man to hack into the slides and puts their pictures from the trip, which include Jason naked, along with a picture of Shadia. Jason eventually admits that he can't marry Meredith, to which she responds that she slept with Nick while he was away. Though Jason does not hear this information due to poor acoustics, his cousin instead quickly telling him that Meredith has told him to do what he wants to do. Jason happily leaves the hall and meets Dick outside, who tells him that Shadia is on a bus, headed for a cruise. They attempt to drive away with the drug dealer's ice cream truck while Jason's father shows up and threatens Jason that he'll lose his job if he leaves. The drug dealer tasers the father and they go away. However, they are being chased by the cops as they exceed the speed limit. Thanks to Dick's driving skill, they eventually catch up with Shadia's bus, but the bus driver won't pull over. Dick speeds up and drives towards the bus until the vans collide. Jason immediately approaches the woman and apologizes to Shadia for lying. He tells her that he wants to join her on the trip since he just broke up and is jobless. They finally kiss, but the moment is ruined by the cops. Jason's father, with his Philly face, shows up and defends his son. Dick returns home with Jason's father and apologizes to him for not being a good father. As Dick arrives at his room, he is extremely happy when he finds Lenore has been waiting for him there. She still wants to have fun with him, even after knowing that he's not a professor. At the end of the movie, the old man's desire is finally fulfilled. Dick and Lenore get married and have a baby boy named Richard Jr., and Jason and Shadia are named the godparents. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. If you did, please consider subscribing to our channel so you never miss out on our latest content. And don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It really helps us out and lets us know that we're creating content that you love. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, please leave them down below. We always love hearing from our viewers. And if you think that this video could be helpful for someone else, please consider sharing it with them. We're so grateful for your support, and we can't wait to bring you even more awesome content in the future. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.